Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Progressive. Final game of this 7-game homestand, and today, in fact, the Twins wrapping up a long stretch of continuous play, 17 in a row, and it will end with Royce Lewis playing his second game since coming back from AAA, but will be at first base to start a big league game for the first time. It is a hot, humid day at the ballpark. Temperatures right now mid-80s, humidity over 50%, and a chance for some rain later on today, but hopefully uninterrupted baseball is in our future. The Twins and the Royals can wrap up this series and this homestand here today. Matt Quatraro and the Royals, despite the fact 13 games under 500, have played well against the Twins, winning 4 out of 6. And Kansas City in this series alone, something they have not done well, winning close ball games. They have done that twice, winning by 2 on Thursday, by 1 yesterday. Twins won by 2 on Friday night. And a different look to his lineup today. It's brought to you by Ford with lefty Connor Prielipp on the mound. Veteran right-handed hitting outfielder Lane Thomas will bat leadoff today with Witt, Garcia, and Marte. DHing Vinny Pasquantino in the lineup. The lefty at first base, Nick Lofton. Isaac Collins, the pride of Maple Grove. Carter Jensen still catching, and Tyler Tolbert will make just his second start all season long. He bats right-handed, has great speed. He'll be in right for the Royals here in the series finale, and that is the group that Connor Prielipp will see. Molly, his numbers are brought to you by CarShield.
Well, we've seen the good and the bad from Connor early in his major league career. He's pitched a lot better at home. You can see his numbers there. That ERA has been climbing as of late. The whip's a little bit too high. Also like to get those walks down. That's part of that whip equation. But hopefully he's feeling fresh today. The Royals have struggled against left-handed pitching. We talk about the Twins' woes against left-handed pitching. The Royals just 2-14 against left-handed starters. His mix looks good. Obviously that slider is best pitch. Uses that curveball for first pitch strikes, get backs in the count. Has that velocity at the top of the zone when he uses that fastball.
And then defensively behind Prielipp today, Clemens, Kreidler, and Martin. The infield of Lee, Arcia, Keyshaw Lewis, and Alex Jackson will catch Prielipp. And there is Royce as he will bat sixth here today in his first start at first base. He finished yesterday's game at first. Now we focus on Prielipp and Lane Thomas, who swings and misses at a first pitch fastball. And with that, we're underway here at Target Field. The veteran Lane Thomas, a National, Guardian, and now a Royal. Now platooning somewhat in center with Kyle Isbell. As for Prielipp, in his last outing, came on June 2nd here against the White Sox. He worked into the 7th inning, Molly, for the first time ever in his pro career through 94 pitches.
Well, we've talked a lot about how the Twins are going to utilize Prielipp throughout this year, as minimal innings that he has thrown, not only professionally but prior to that as well. And even though he had to battle through a few things last game, got into that 7th inning, and of course the Twins always appreciate that type of length.
This is popped up near the plate, and Jackson measuring, and makes the play. Thomas is retired, so one down. Here comes Witt Jr., and StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. We take a look at that crucial at-bat in the 9th inning last night.
We talk about a professional hitter who knows what he wants to do. Really didn't even flinch at those 2 fastballs, one for a strike, one just off the plate. He had that splitter on his mind, and when he got it, even though the location was pretty good by Orsi, game-winning hit into left field for Bobby Witt Jr.
He's only 25 years old. The RBI was the 400th of his career. And he is one of 5 players with 400 RBI and 150 stolen bases before turning 26. Ben Chapman, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mike Trout, and Cesar Cedeno. To right and playable for Austin Martin. And the catch is made, and there are 2 down. We contact the deuce there by Prielipp. So good start for Connor. 2 up, 2 away. Garcia's coming up. But first, our keys to the game, Molly, are brought to you as always by Toyota.
Well, the Twins getting a well-deserved off day tomorrow after 17 straight. Hopefully the players aren't looking too much towards tomorrow, Corey. They stay present here today and give their best effort. And then as far as playing clean defensively, it's obviously a different look. Not the defense we saw coming out of spring training. And hopefully they can make the plays behind Prielipp, as you mentioned earlier, inducing more ground balls as of late. we'll see how the infield handles that type of work.
Yeah, Prelip, his ground ball numbers are still below league average, but they have been climbing noticeably, over now 41%. And let's see if Arcia has a busy day at short. Royce at first, Keyshaw and Lee round out the infield. Again to right, shallow. Here comes Martin in, fading, and that lands foul. So 2-1 on Michael Garcia, All-Star last year, Gold Glove winning third baseman, and back at third today for the first time in over a week. Injured his right hamstring earlier on this road trip for the Royals. It's a three-city trip. It began in Arlington against the Rangers, Cincinnati, and now Target Field. And we saw Garcia the last couple of days. In fact, he started yesterday DHing. Had a pinch hit showing earlier in the series as well, but back in the starting lineup for the first time. And doing so at least playing a position for Matt Cotrero in the series finale. Now 3-1.
Garcia, an important part of Kansas City's offensive game. He has really started to come on, heading towards stardom, I believe, for the Kansas City Royals.
Venezuelan born, coming off a great year. He's hit left-handed pitching well. And a challenge there? No. 3-2. And kind of a pause there from Garcia. Shane Leibensparger behind the plate. Saw Garcia kind of turn back. And the hand came up. So now here is Prelip's payoff pitch, and it misses away for ball 4. And Garcia, normally a threat to run, but with that sore hamstring, see if that's an option here for the afternoon game.
Yeah, in his pinch hit appearance the other day when he did get on base, really showed some limitations on how much confidence he had in that leg injury that he's trying to overcome.
Now veteran Starling Marte DHing today. He's been at it a long time, approaching 1,600 career games, parts of 15 seasons in the big leagues. Longtime Pittsburgh Pirate, an all-star with the Pirates in 2016, an all-star again with the Mets in 2022. A changeup, 1-1.
Yeah, that's the pitch I think that Connor's numbers will improve when he can get that changeup and use it effectively, particularly against the right-handed hitters. Get that depth and location that you need. Keep those hitters honest.
It makes sense how Derek Shelton has lined up the catchers for either Prelip, even Zebby Matthews with Ryan Jeffers out. It's been Alex Jackson behind the plate for the younger guys. You know, Zebby Matthews, Jackson caught him in the minors. Same with Connor Prelip earlier this year.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Jackson having the feel of these guys while they were over there in St. Paul. Knows their arsenal, know what's working on a given day.
Garcia stays, and the 1-2 struck him out with a curveball. And Marte is gone, and the Royals are done here in the opening inning. So Connor Prelip now 43 strikeouts in just over 40 innings thrown. And the Royals leave one. Twins and the Royals, no score. Derek Shelton hoping to wrap up this homestand with a victory today. And again, final game of 17 consecutive. And the Twins lineup is brought to you by Menards. And a familiar look for the Twins when they saw so many lefties back in April, with Austin Martin leading things off, followed by Lee and Orlando Arcia. Pinch hit home run, batting third today. Clemens, Bell, Lewis, Kreidler, Keyshaw, and Jackson, and lefty Noah Cameron. He's had some good outings against the Twins. We'll have the ball for the Royals, and a first pitch ball to Austin Martin as we take a look at the numbers here for Cameron.
Yeah, not an overpowering left-hander, probably sit around 92, 93. Really does a nice job of mixing up his secondary pitches, likes that cutter into right-handed hitters that keeps them honest and opens up the outside of the plate. He's been really, really good first time through the lineups, particularly as of late, retiring the first 9 batters in each of his last 2 starts.
And that's what the Twins will see from Cameron today. And Cameron, over his last 5 starts, has an ERA sub-3. And the 1-2 buried and blocked by Jensen. Now, base percentage over .450 for Martin against left-handed pitching this season as Cameron works off the third base side. And strike three called on a curveball. And that is the strikeout pitch for Cameron against righties. It's now 22 strikeouts to righties alone with that breaking ball, and that was a good pitch.
Yeah, well located. That's his highest whiff percentage pitch, that curveball. Whether he gets swings and misses or can lock guys up like he did with Austin right there.
Ball one, change up to Brooks Lee. And here's our Fubo stat of the game, and explain these numbers to me here, Paul, because Lee has crushed pitching away from target field this season, not so much at home. And Tolbert battling the wind and the sun makes the play, but Lee hitting under 180 at home compared to a .311 batting average on the road. And of his 9 home runs, 7 have come away from target field.
Well, I could make up some kind of an answer for you, Corey, because I can't explain it. You know, I mean, his approach really after the first couple of weeks of the season has been steady. It's just kind of amazing, the differential home and away right there. Hopefully they balance out as the season progresses.
Second career pinch hit home run for Arcia last night gave the Twins a brief lead.
Yeah, that was nice to see. Came up there really trying to look to do damage early in the count. Worked it full and then pulled the fastball on the outer part of the plate to give that Twins that temporary lead.
That could and would have been a strike, but no challenge by either Cameron or Jensen. So the 1-2 to Arcia. We'll see if he capitalizes. To left field and shallow. Collins coming in with the dive. Isaac Collins. The head first diving grab, robbing Arcia of a 2-out knock. So Collins, the Maple Grove native, has had a good series. Offensively, defensively, makes a good play. No score, second inning from downtown Minneapolis. Beautiful look at target field from our Delta drone camera. Vinny Pasquantino drops down to the order against lefties. And Connor Prelip ahead, strike one. Pasquantino 134. Batting average lefty on left, and of his 6 home runs, none have come against left-handed pitching, but the numbers climbing for Pasquantino on this long road trip in terms of average. 3 hits in this series, a double, an RBI and a run scored. 0-2 the count. We mentioned to Molly that note about the Royals. Just 2-14 this season against left-handed starting pitching. And they have dropped their last 8.
We could have added that as almost a third key to the game. Who can solve the left-handed opposing starter? Kind of look at his little Sasquatch around his neck.
And solve the mystery of left-handed pitching and Sasquatch all in one conversation, and somewhere Anthony Swarzak is tuning in and he's like, that's my conversation. Huge Sasquatch believer. Study it. Pasquantino studying this pitch to shallow right. Here comes Mr. Martin with a dive. Have we seen some defense from Martin in right field on this homestand? Now we saw Collins robbing Arcia, and now Martin does the same here against Pasquantino to begin the second inning. Already today's unreal defensive play of the game.
Yeah, Austin was a little fooled by the swing there. Actually broke back. Did a nice job of recovering. Ended up coming in and just making that catch right off the top of the turf.
It's good to see, too, because Martin's numbers offensively are dropping, but that's not impacting his defense, Molly, and maybe easier said than done sometimes, separating the two.
Absolutely. You know, obviously he had the great start on base, average, all those type of things. Those numbers have been falling off here as of late. But he's added to his value by the way he can play the defensive outfield. So much better than when the Twins originally put him out there last year to get some work at all 3 outfield positions.
Really, right field was foreign to him, so much so it was really towards the end of spring training when in some Grapefruit League games, Schulte and Grady Sizemore told Martin, hey, let's just get some work in right field. Who knows what will happen. And the Twins wanted to leave Trevor Larnach alone at left against righties, and that has meant more time in right with Matt Wallner, AAA, for Martin to play every day.
Well, just think about our defense today compared to what we might have thought had been coming out of spring. From Royce at first to Brooks at third. Clemens is in the outfield, Kreidler in center, and Austin Martin patrolling right field.
Line to left center field towards the alley and down for a base hit for Lofton, cut off by Clemens. So a one-out single for Nick Lofton, and the Royals have their second base runner first hit.
Yeah, Lofton doing a good job of staying on that slider down and in. Finding that gap in between left and center. Drop it in for a base hit here with one out.
A progressive wire cam. Lofton at first base does not have a stolen base. And now Isaac Collins, switch hitting. Outfielder inside for ball one. Matching Collins before the break, performing well here, coming back home on this homestand, or I should say in this series, 3 for 8. He's drawn 4 walks. He got the rally going off Orsi in the 9th inning last night with a leadoff single. 1-1. Acquired from Milwaukee in the offseason. So Collins, he graduated from Maple Grove. He played football, basketball, baseball. And as a senior in 2018, he became the first player since number 7 to be named a finalist for the Mr. Minnesota Award in both baseball and football. To center field and Kreidler. And there are 2 down. No knock on Collins, who makes his home now in Denver, Colorado. While he was a finalist, he did not win that award. Joe did. But for more on the return of Collins, let's check in with Katie Storm.
Yeah, big return for Collins. I actually wanted to focus too, Corey, on just the 17-game stretch. It's hard to believe it's 2.5 weeks the Twins have played straight without a single off day. Derek Shelton told me it's felt like much longer just with the injuries they've dealt with and adjustments they've had to make with that pitching staff. Business to take care of today with the ball there, but of course, tomorrow they're looking forward to a much-needed off day.
Yeah, Katie, that's a good point, and even Molly's point too. And we brought up the subject with Derek Shelton. You know, as we left his office today, and you brought up, you know, this is common not just at a stretch like this, but you know, leading up to the All-Star break. Now you begin to think about the future and maybe just take your eyes off the present for a bit.
And it's a natural thing, you know. Tomorrow, whatever it is, family plans, barbecue plans, catch up on your sleep plans. Really have to come out today and focus on trying to win today's game. Enjoy tomorrow, but let's take care of business today here first.
Gunnar Jensen, Kansas City native, getting a chance to play for his hometown team. He has caught 3 of 4 in this series. Salvador Perez was behind the plate on Friday night and took a ball off of his right hand, really off of his thumb. And Sal did not play yesterday, not in the lineup for now today. And a balk has been called on Prelip, and with that, Lofton advances down to second.
To be honest, I was watching Lofton there to see if he was trying to get a good read, and I didn't see the little flinch there on the way up. You have to be fluid and smooth. You can't herk and jerk like we saw there from Prelip.
No big deal. Comes back to strike out. Jensen with a slider, and the inning is over. Austin Martin playing good D day in, day out in right field. A diving play robbing Pasquantino and Pictoma. Pretty happy.
While you could.
Well, you know what? School is out, and your ticket to summer waits with 4 Twins tickets for only $40. Grab your friends, family, heck, even your enemies. Head to Target Field to catch Buck and the boys here while enjoying our great Minnesota summer. Soak up the sun with a 4-pack of tickets for just $40 at twins.com/tickets to summer. It is play ball weekend. And great festivities all weekend long here and around the ballpark. We'll score bottom 2. Cody Clemens leads off against Cameron, showing bunt, and that's a strike. Now, speaking of that, Molly, we noticed that the Twins were out early today working out their bunting.
Yeah, even with the day game and the hot forecast, guys got out and they got their infield work in with ground ball work. But Grady Sizemore had probably about 8 or 9 guys just working out bunting for base hits, sacrificing some of the lefties, practicing that drag bunt to first with that they might use in first and third situations. Cody, excuse me, trying to put that into practice there with that bluff on that first pitch.
Now 1-2, and speaking of the Twins earlier today, there's some footage of what the guys were working on.
Yeah, just fundamentals, tracking the ball, keeping that barrel high above the hands when you can. Use those knees, bend down, stay parallel to the pitch.
I wonder too, the timing of doing that, how much of the team you're playing might register in the manager's mind. It'd be like, this is something we should work on, if that's Milwaukee or Kansas City. If that could be a catalyst at times.
Well, you play the teams like Kansas City and Milwaukee and throw Tampa in the mix there this year for sure. A little bit of a resurgence as far as the small ball game.
Even the White Sox too. The White Sox are bunting more.
I've long been a proponent of taking advantage of getting on base when the bunt is given to you. There's an eephus curveball.
Well, how about some memories here? This was 57 miles an hour, Molly.
Yeah, that goes back to memories for me. I think it was Dave LaRoche through the lob. Nice shot.
Clemens, one pitch later on a fastball at 94. Rips it to right for a leadoff single. So you go from 57 to 94, and you have a good swing and a leadoff knock to begin the inning.
You can't fool Cody Clemens with that little eephus curveball that he dropped in there the pitch before. Cody continues to swing a hot bat, really against the left-handed pitching too. He's done a nice job of keeping that front shoulder in. Good start for the Twins here in the second.
That's 24 plus games. OPS over 900 for Clemens. I think almost 300 in terms of batting average alone. Into the last month. Josh Bell DHing today, 1 hit in this series, an RBI double on Friday. And it's 0-2 on Josh. Cameron, his ground ball numbers are down this season. Line drive rate is up. Saw Clemens do just that a moment ago. Now 1-2 count. Twins getting their second look. And Noah Cameron alone this season. But lifetime 3 starts. He's 2-0 with an ERA just over 1. And strikes out Bell with a changeup. Second strikeout for Cameron, 1 away. And last time the Twins saw Cameron was at Kauffman Stadium opposite Joe Ryan. It was a foggy night. Rain arrived. It was cold. The Twins were down huge. Came back to make it a game.
And that was a strange game to watch on television. I was not in attendance down there in Kansas City. He got a big lead and got through 5, which was his first start of the year.
Remember asking Byron Buxton the next day about the conditions. He said that was a first. You know, thinking back even to his minor league career, you know, some rough weather maybe he dealt with, but nothing like that. And for football fans, the famous Fog Bowl, the Bears Eagles playoff game. Famous Fog Bowl at Soldier Field many years ago. 2 balls and no strikes on Royce Lewis. Made his return yesterday, 0 for 3.
Got a chance to play in a really foggy game in Cleveland where we actually had to suspend play. And the way they figured out when to resume was one of the coaches came out with a fungo bat and hit fly balls to the outfielders. and when they could see it, game got back underway.
So it wasn't like anybody from Major League Baseball. It wasn't umpires. It was literally a coach being like, all right, let's give it a try and see what happens.
That's all they could do.
Clemens takes off, and the 2-1 is a strike throw to second base, and Clemens is safe. So Cody picks up his 6th stolen base, a one-out throw from Jensen. And the Twins have a runner in scoring position for the first time today.
Well, I like that Cody's had that mindset of trying to be involved with the stolen base game for the Twins. You could see each pitch inching a little farther off the bag. No hesitation on his break. Beats the throw from Jensen.
Now the 2-2 to Lewis, and good take there on a curveball. 3-2. Royce had that dramatic at bat to end the game last night.
Yeah, the moment found him. You know, he did a good job actually of falling behind yesterday a couple times and being able to take some really close off-speed pitches to get back into full count situations. One ending in a walk.
To short, Clemens, and it's missed by Witt, and Clemens will round third and hang on. A rare miscue at short from Bobby Witt Jr. And in many ways, that's been the best defensive player in the game. And a rare miscue, and we'll see if the Twins can capitalize. First and third, only one out.
You know, when you take ground balls, you don't have a base runner going in front of you. And sometimes that just can affect your read on the ball, which hop you're going to try to take. Cody making a nice read. Ball just hits off the heel of the glove. Bobby can't corral it. See if the Twins can take advantage with that extra out opportunity.
Still just one out, 2 on for Ryan Kreidler. Cameron, he has been susceptible this season with runners in scoring position. Teams hitting almost 370 against him. Twins on this homestand, 6 games, runners in scoring position, hitting .313 collectively. And the dirt swallowed up by Jensen. Now, Jensen, his defense too yesterday in the 9th inning. There were some pitches from Alex Lang there in the 9th inning that, you know, many could have gone to the backstop.
Yeah, a lot of ways your catcher can contribute. Obviously, keeping balls in the dirt in front.
Kreidler, his lone hit so far in this series, a triple. That was his first ever big league triple.
Another one of those situations where we need contact.
Lewis stays, and the pitch, ground ball towards the hole at short. Witt will go to second, and not in time. So Kreidler put it in play deep in the hole, and that brings in Clemens, and the Twins take a 1-0 lead. Credit Kreidler with his 11th RBI.
Well, good job by Ryan in terms of 2 strikes, putting the ball in play. Gets it to a spot where not even Bobby Witt can start a double play. Twins take advantage of the misplay by Witt. That first one on the board.
So 1-0 Twins. And here is Luke Keyshaw, 0 for 8 so far in the series. And pitch thrown, but time granted before that pitch was deemed legal.
Yeah, we had a couple things working there. The clock ticking down. Cameron holding that ball a long time. Luke got uncomfortable and shut it down.
Works a bit faster this time. So after a fastball, then goes to a changeup. 0-1 on Keyshaw. Since mid-April, Keyshaw hitting over .290 against left-handed pitching. Team leading 10 stolen bases. Just 1 home run, though, for Keyshaw to start his season. Kreidler at first. Cued right side. Lofton over. He'll go to second, not in time. Perfect spot for Keyshaw with Lofton guarding up the middle. So Keyshaw picks up his first hit in this series, and the Twins' second continues now for Alex Jackson.
Yeah, we talk about Cameron, this curveball being his best swing and miss pitch, but also about that cutter. Really gets in on Keyshaw's hands, but he fights it off and hits it to a perfect spot to continue the inning.
So 2 down for Alex Jackson. Seven games, hitting .300. Pulled in the air to left as three Royals converge. It'll be Collins across the line. And the inning is over. Twins score an unearned run, taking advantage of a rare Witt Jr. error. It scored Clemens after a leadoff single, and the Twins have the early lead. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our Jeep AL Central standings. The Twins in this run of divisional play. Just saw the White Sox quite a bit. Tigers coming up next week. Royals right now in the bottom with Detroit. 26 and 39. Twins, White Sox, Guardians. Tyler Tolbert, a rare start for the speedy outfielder. Just his second start of the season. He's 28 years old, 13th round pick by the Royals in 2019. He can fly, as we have seen in this series. He's been used as a pinch runner. And with that, he has stolen a base and scored twice. 0-2. This is his 60th big league at bat after debuting last year. He's hitting .271 in limited starting time. Has 25 career big league stolen bases. He's been caught only 3 times. Swing and a miss. Ball got away from Jackson. And a good throw. Third strikeout for Prelip, and one down here in the Royals' third inning.
Yeah, nice job by Jackson there. That slider down and in. He tries to backhand the catch. It kind of clanks off his glove. And with the direction that the ball carried him, he had to make a 100-foot throw on the button with speedy Tolbert hustling down the line.
The slider has been a weapon for Prelip. It really always has been. But as we've seen Prelip mature big leagues and even throughout his pro career, the curveball, the changeup, adding more to that arsenal. Now Lane Thomas, second time through for Kansas City as Prelip hits the outside corner. It's backdoor slider strike. And that slider, it just can't be a chase pitch, right? It has to be in the zone for hitters to respect it.
It does. And what I have noticed that he has a pretty good ability to throw it in the zone when he wants to use it to get back into counts, maybe even on 3-2 pitches. It's more when he gets into chase counts where he's able to bury that ball down and into the right-handed hitters and away from the lefties.
Good pitch right there. That same strike that we saw for strike one does it again for strike two. As we take a look at what Prelip is leaning on so far today. If you combine the minor league innings that Connor threw this season, roughly 56 innings for Prelip combined big league to minor league innings so far this season for a guy that really was over 80 last year for the first time. And the question came up in Shelty's office today, but you know, just seeing the finish line for Prelip, I think, is a fair point, but I don't think the answer is easy because he is, barring any injury, he is going to blow by that number here soon. And strikes out Thomas looking with a changeup.
Nice to see that changeup being used by Connor here. Gets strike 3. But you know, in talking to Shelty, you're absolutely mindful of how that's going to unfold, but you don't really have enough information now to exactly see the blueprint to try to get Prelip to that finish line that you were talking about.
Yeah, the innings last year in 2025 with the Saints, 24 games, 23 starts, really AA and AAA, not just with AAA St. Paul, but 82 2/3 innings, a career high.
Yeah,
for Prelip last year.
I'm not sure the percentage of increase in innings they're willing to go. Obviously, longer season up here at the major league level, although AAA has kind of caught up in that regard. But it's hard to imagine him going much over 100 innings this year, and how you want to go about getting him to that mark, whether it's getting those extra days when you possibly can, maybe skipping a start here and there, using the all-star break to your advantage.
2-1 to Bobby Witt Jr. And now 2-2. It gets back to the discussion. Is Major League Baseball benefiting from the current minor league schedule format? In that pitch at bat, but Cameron wins that round and strikes out Martin for the second time, and now 5 for the Royal starter so far today.
You know, those lefties, they're not afraid to throw that changeup at any count there. 3-2 after multiple foul balls from Austin. He just really dots that changeup at the bottom of the zone.
Two-way for Lee. He's flat out twice. It's 1 for 15 on this 4-game series.
We've talked about the changeup, but he's also got that little slider. Starts in the zone. Brooks couldn't hold up on that pitch.
1-2. Got him. So climb the ladder. Everything down. Then Cameron brought everything up there and strikes out Lee as Cameron strikes out the side of the field.
You want
Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Culver's. Baseball is better with a butter burger. On to the 6th here at Target Field with Katie Storm, Paul Molitor, Corey Provis. Producers Tom Meade, Rick Palermo, Director Matt Loxton, and our award-winning Twins TV team. We thank you for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Royals lead by 4, batting in the 6th. Nick Lofton, 2 for 2 today. He's at second base here this afternoon. We saw him play third. Has been playing third in the absence of Maikel Garcia before today. A single and tied up the game with an RBI double in the 4th. Nothing at 2. Lofton, Collins, and Jensen, 6, 7, 8. And a pitch clock violation on Morris. The Twins now, that's back-to-back days. Ryan had one yesterday, and now Morris. So now the count is 1-2. Sweeper stayed high for ball 2. And Morris strikes him out. Good fastball. 3rd strikeout for Morris. And 1 away here in the Royals' 6th inning.
Andrew just reaching back for a little extra kind of center cut fastball. Right by Lofton. First out of the inning.
Velocity certainly has gone up for Morris, Molly, in this new bullpen role. The idea, as the Twins have been depleted of starting pitching here for the last few weeks now, 3/5 of their opening day rotation on the IL, and Morris's name came up in Shelty's office about stretching him back out, and Shelty said if that does happen, it would not happen up here, that he would be optioned back to St. Paul and begin to get back into that starting mentality, that program not at the big league level.
You know, unfortunately, sometimes just given circumstances, injuries, you do have players that have to be somewhat of a hybrid. They bounce back and forth, but I know that Shelty wants to keep this kid's future in mind. I couldn't tell you right now long term where he's going to be best suited. I think we're still kind of getting a pulse on where he's going to fit in best on this Twin staff.
Schulte chatting with his staff. Trying to piece together the pitching right now in a variety of ways. Down 4 here in the 6th. Then Andrews 2-2, and that one never had a chance. Never felt right leaving his hand. Bullpen coach LaTroy Hawkins. Of his experience, a vital piece in that evolving bullpen. Guys moving in and out, different levels of experience. He's the right guy to have in that bullpen.
It's like Andrews having a little talk with himself right now. I wasn't happy when he misfired that curveball a couple pitches ago. Got that fastball up above the zone, not where he wanted it.
Morris threw 48 pitches on Thursday. He's at 35 now in his second inning of work. Chop left side. Lee there. Spinning, throwing. Good play. Some range there from Lee. With some arm strength to get Collins. And there are 2 down.
When pests show up uninvited, Plunkett's knocks them out of the park with trusted professional care. From first visit to long-term prevention, get Plunkett's today.
So 2 up, 2 down for Morris here in the 6th, and bases empty for the Royals catcher Carter Jensen. Now 3 hits in the series. And 2 of those 3 hits for extra bases, a homer and a double. His first career leadoff home run yesterday. Something that the Royals have been doing more and more of on this road trip while Garcia's been out. Morris had no balls and 2 strikes on Jensen. Cody Lorison warming up in the bullpen. Did not throw in the game yesterday, was warming up in the bullpen. Foul tip and hung on to by Jackson, and nice bounce back from Morris. Throws a 1-2-3 6th, striking out 2.
$2.
I hope you're celebrating Native American Heritage Night here at Target Field with us here on Monday, June 22nd. The first 5,000 fans receive a Native American Heritage themed jersey presented by Treasure Island and Prairie Island. Grab your tickets right now, twins.com/tickets. Twins need a jolt. Down by 4 runs here, bottom 6. Noah Cameron continues to pitch well against the Twins, and this is what he's done now in 4 starts, lifetime against the Twins. 5 innings, no earned runs, no walks. He has struck out 6.
Twins still have 12 outs to play with. If we could just cut into that lead a little bit.
First pitch, and Witt throws high and pulled down by Pasquantino, and Arcia is retired. Well, having a tall teammate at first base no doubt helps.
Eyes down, watch the ball into the glove, come up, straighten yourself up. Ball sails just a little bit, which happens when you have a cannon for an arm. Pasquantino does a nice job using the base as kind of a springboard to get up as high as he could to maintain contact with the base while doing that.
1 down for Clemens. It's 1 for 2 today as Cameron misses inside. Cody's had 2 good swings today, 1 hit to show for it. It's pulled foul. Twins set to see 1 lefty in Detroit. That'll be the middle game of the series coming up on Wednesday. Framber Valdez, whom the Twins knocked around here at Target Field in April. We'll start game 2 of that upcoming series. John Schreiber warming up in the Royals pen. Taj Bradley and Troy Melton on Tuesday night. Twins have not announced their pitching plans for Wednesday. Valdez for the Tigers, Zebby and Cater Montero on Thursday. As Clemens strikes out, now 7 strikeouts for Cameron.
Cameron with that high whiff rate on that curveball. Probably didn't want to leave that one up there. Got away with it.
One shy, Molly, of his career high and season high of 8 strikeouts. He has struck out Bell twice.
Giving some length to Quatrero over there, which they probably be very grateful for. You know, I'm thinking about the Detroit series, and you know that one spot in the Twins rotation that's going to keep coming up might be a little bit helped by some of these off days, but I'm not sure you want to go to that bullpen game every time you run into that 5th spot.
A name to think about, not for Wednesday, but to just kind of remember as the Twins try to get some of these guys back. Shelty was going to give an update on Mick Abel. He felt really good after throwing his 35 pitch 2-up session live BP showing on this field earlier on this homestand. And Shelty was asked if they're ready to announce where Abel is going next. He said, we'll talk about that post game. 2 balls and 2 strikes. First time Cameron has thrown more than 100 pitches this season. And Witt to his left. And Pasquantino with the stretch and the snag. Hang on to it. And a 1-2-3 6th inning for Noah Cameron. A couple of good plays from Pasquantino at first. Brawl in the ballpark comes off the top rope at Target Field on July 10th as the Twins take on the Angels. All Elite Wrestling added stars put on a can't-miss show in this post-game event. Plus tickets and special ticket purchasers will receive a Twins and AEW co-branded baseball hat. Get your tickets now at twins.com/brawl. Cody Lorison will take over here in the 7th inning. His 3rd appearance is rejoining the club after missing time with a right forearm strain. Tyler Tolbert leads off. Tolbert 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts. Hitters 9, 1, and 2 for the Royals, who lead by 4 here in the 7th inning. To right, slicing foul. Lewis over, and Royce no play.
Yeah, somewhat uneventful day for Royce over at first base. Not too much action so far.
Getting back to the conversation I had with Justin Morneau before the game yesterday, and the work that Morneau did and still will do with Royce at first base moving forward. He said, yeah, the play that they talked about is the ground ball to your right, and how much do you go after that, and the mentality is Tolbert has a leadoff base hit into left center field. He can fly, thinking 2, puts on the brakes, and Kreidler getting that ball back in quickly. And sure enough, there was a play that Royce had in St. Paul where it was a step or 2 to his right, and he thought about it, took 1 step, but then got back to the bag to cover. But it's more about those moments, right? When you think about the plays as a third baseman, you're used to trying to get everything you can, not the same mentality playing first.
You see Tolbert hitting that cutter there for a base hit, big lead there. That play, obviously it's contingent on where your second baseman is playing at the start of the play. And it's somewhat counterintuitive in that the ball that's hit weakly to your right, you can get to, that's the one you have to resist going and get, because the second baseman can make that play. It's a lot easier to get a 4-3 than it is to try to get a 3-1 on a ball where you have to really wander far to your right. You see a lot of times you'll get the first baseman and second baseman out there, and they'll hit a lot of in-between balls, communication.
Tolbert stays as Thomas takes outside.
Watching Royce even here holding a runner, holding that target up for the pitcher, and his footwork coming off the base to try to get yourself set when that ball gets in the hitting zone. You don't want to still be moving.
Tolbert has a massive lead. And Lorison throws over. Tolbert, it's not a matter of if, but when.
Yeah, he's getting way out there. I think an average lead is around 10, 11 feet. He's past that.
Jackson has a good pop time. Get that ball out quickly. Runner stays, and there is strike 3 called on Thomas. Good pitch.
Yeah, came back just a little bit, enough to catch that corner.
Now Witt Jr. 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, and he's flied out to right.
Corey, as a base stealer, you watch different things that give you an advantage. And Lorison just doesn't have real quick feet on that move over there. Kind of a long arm action, allowing Tolbert to extend that lead even a little bit farther.
Stays. The 0-1 is fouled back. I was having a conversation with the Twins coaching staff earlier on this homestand, and specifically with Twins bench coach Mark Hallberg. There he is right there, and we were talking about slide steps. And I went back to a conversation I had with former Twins reliever Brock Stewart about why he did not slide step. As Witt late strikes out in a rare 3-strikeout game for Witt, and there are 2 down here in the 7th. But Brock Stewart told me something a couple of years ago. I asked him about slide stepping. He said, I won't do it because I feel like it's going to compromise the pitch that I'm trying to throw. And then I brought that up with Mark Hallberg, and he said, no, there's up-to-date data that is saying the exact opposite. That if you slide step, you're quicker to the plate, it should have no impact on either pitch shape, break, velocity. That there are ways still to maintain both.
Sure.
Even with incorporating a slide step to give your team a chance to keep a guy like Tolbert, anybody else, from easily taking 90 feet.
Right. And I think that that's something that's developed in the minor leagues. I've seen so many pitchers that refuse to try to incorporate that, and they just get exposed by the running game at this level.
Fielder's choice, and Garcia hits it to short. Arcia the force on Tolbert. A nice job by Lorison working around the leadoff single. Royals lead 5-1 as we stretch, and we keep it here on this home Sunday for God Bless America.
At this time, we ask that you please rise as we welcome Lisa Luthi, former Annunciation School creative arts teacher and current Annunciation parent, as she sings God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Twins down 4 heading into the bottom of the 7th here in Minneapolis. A look at your game summary there presented by Toyota. Connor Prelate made his 9th MLB start, 4 1/3 today. He had 77 pitches on the hill. Cody Clemens continued his dominance at the plate. A single, a stolen bag, and a run scored in that second. The only run for Minnesota. Starling Marte, guys, he had that 3-run blast in the 5th to build up the lead for the Royals. And the Twins have some work to do in this final game of a 17 straight stretch.
All right, Katie, thank you. Yeah, quiet afternoon for the hometown 9. We'll see if they can make some noise against the Royals bullpen. John Schreiber's been at it a long time. ERA sub-3 for the season, better the last 19 games. As he will take over here for the Royals. Noah Cameron was excellent once again. 6 innings, 1 unearned run, and now Schreiber facing Royce. Has reached twice here today, reaching on a Witt Jr. error in the 2nd and a line drive single to left in the 4th. Line to right field, and Tolbert bending his knees and making the play for the out. Some changes here for the Royals, and Michael Garcia now playing short. So try and grab some information from Kansas City as to why Bobby Witt Jr. left this game in the 7th inning. It's a 4-run game. So Witt is out.
Trying to think about anything that's, excuse me, that's happened in this game that would indicate the need for Witt's departure. Looked a little bit out of sort at the plate.
So let's see how the Royals now look defensively. Lofton goes from 2nd to 3rd, and into the game for the first time is Michael Massey. Trevor Larnach is pinch hitting for Kreidler. Larnach 1 for 6 in this series, 4 hits on the homestand. Did he go? No. It's Mark Ripperger. 1 ball, 1 strike with Keyshaw on deck. Poked out to left field, and Collins. 2 down, base is empty for Keyshaw.
From Twins territory to the world, Delta, official airline of the Minnesota Twins.
Royals pitchers have combined to retire 9 straight Twins batters. Keyshaw robbed of an RBI in the 4th inning. Twins had 2 on, 2 out. And Keyshaw had a ground ball, the hole at short. Garcia playing 3rd then, with a really nice sliding, spinning stop, ending the inning. Twins pen is quiet. It'll be Lorison back out for the 8th. Out to shallow right center, and a 7-pitch inning for Schreiber, and again the Twins go down quietly. The 2026 Konami eBaseball MLB All-Star Ballot is live. Receive 25% off tickets to your next Twins home game for simply voting at least 5 times. Send your favorite Twins like that man right there, Byron Buxton, to Philly. And vote now at twins.com/vote. Hopefully the off day tomorrow, and that guy will be good to go come Tuesday in Detroit. Starling Marte to Lorison, and finds Larnach in left field. So Marte, 3-run homer back in the 5th, lines out to left. First pitch he sees here in the 8th inning. So Larnach stays in the game after batting for Kreidler. He is now in left, and that moves Cody Clemens from left to center. Now, thinking about the all-star balloting, a guy that was making a great case before his injury was this guy right here, Ryan Jeffers. Awesome season. Offensively, ABS, you name it, he was playing great before the broken hamate bone.
He was on track for that game. Absolutely. You know, last year I tried to improve upon his ability to hit, his average RBIs. Lost a little bit of the power in doing so. This year was incorporating both aspects to being a good hitter, power and being able to drive in runs.
Take a look at what Jeffers was doing before his injury. Average power, Molly, and the walk rate, strikeout rate, comparable to each other.
All the numbers going in the right direction. Free agent year.
Yeah. And at the time of his injury, too, he was leading all catchers in terms of ABS challenges in which you flip a ball to a strike and a strike out. He had 13 such pitches this season. At the time of his injury, that was the most of any catcher. Twins, they miss him.
Feels like it's been a while since he's been out. I know that's a long injury to recover from.
Over a leaping Lee and past Quintino. The multi-hit game. And a one-out single here in the 8th inning. I wonder, too, did you ever break your hamate bone?
No.
Okay. It's more common, I would think, for, and Jeffers uses an axe handle bat, but for those that swing with a traditional knob at the bottom. And then as you're coming back, and if you don't have that knob, if you're coming back from that injury and the pressure that your hand is putting on the knob, which no doubt is going to be uncomfortable for a while. But if you don't have that knob, if you just have the axe handle, if that impacts recovery time,
sure,
but even pain tolerance, because you're not grappling with that issue again.
I'm sure that they are somewhat studying the effect of the bat handle on injuries like a hamate. Coming back from that, how you can lessen the vibration in your hand when you do start to swing.
This one's close here. Jackson's been very good today and just missing this one. Close.
Minnesota has one challenge remaining.
Look at that. 0.4 of an inch.
You know, there's different, you know, the traditional handle, then you have the axe handle. And I actually used a bat that didn't really have a handle per se. It was more of just a tapered bottom. Probably avoided some of that potential of that handle rolling over that hamate bone. Guys that I've talked to that have had that, they start to feel some soreness, but it's the swing and misses and the change-ups where the pain becomes unbearable, and then they find out that they have a fractured hamate.
Two and two, Nick Lofton.
Can you think of some Twins that have had that hamate surgery? You know, I remember David Ortiz had it, but I think he was with the Red Sox at that time.
Not too many that I can think of in recent years that have gone down with that injury, but it was
the hot injury
very
this
popular
spring, yeah.
in spring training, from Corbin Carroll to Jackson Holliday to Francisco Lindor, as Lorison loses Lofton to a one-out walk. That will advance past Quintino down to second. Now Lindor and Carroll at the time, they came back relatively quickly. Holliday's, that one did linger a bit longer.
I'm gonna have to find out from one of our trainers what purpose the hamate bone provides. It kind of sticks up. You know, it's not a flat bone like the other bones.
It's a hook, right?
Yeah, it just kind of
Catcher's
very
challenge
vulnerable
to
to
call
anything that rolls over. Golfers have issues with the hamate.
The call is confirmed. Minnesota has no challenges remaining.
Twins are out of challenges, and to me, I don't mind these because these are leverage moments.
Sure.
Here you're down by 4, you've got 2 on, you're trying to steal any strike you can, trying to stay in this game here.
7/10 of an inch have cost us 2 challenges here.
Strike on Collins, his first at bat left-handed today. Make that second at bat. He was hitting from this side against Morris in the 6th inning. Cody Lorison found out he made the team, speaking of spring training, the final day of camp. During the 7th inning of that Grapefruit League finale against the Red Sox is when Lorison found out, hey, you're going to Baltimore. He and Zach Kent, no longer with the Twins, both found out around the same time. Think about your family, friends asking,
Sure.
so are you on the team? I don't know. Well, camp's over tomorrow. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, not uncommon. Different teams, roster construction coming out of spring. Sometimes it does take down to that last day before you can confirm.
Warning track walk with Austin Martin, and other topics we discussed was the fact that he was the last cut of spring training in 2025. As the roster was in limbo, Mickey Gasper had a laceration near his ankle, and Gasper ended up being okay and made the team because of that. Martin began last season down in St. Paul as Justin Lawrence is up in the pen, and it wasn't until post-trade deadline we didn't see Austin Martin at the big league level until early August of last year. And there's a walk, back-to-back walks, and the bases are loaded for Jensen. And Pete Mackey out for a visit. Yeah, but I asked Austin about, no doubt frustrated, sure. And then he battled so many injuries, and that derailed his season in the minor leagues to begin with. But then when he got that chance, he was like, all right, now or never. And made the most of it, and then carried that success into what was a promising start.
Sure. And when talking to Austin, and I saw him when he first came over to the Twins organization in the Barrios trade down in Wichita. And I give him credit because the Twins saw some things that they wanted to try to change in his game, particularly with his offensive approach. They were looking for more damage, some of those type of things that were very popular at the time, driving the baseball. And because of that, he started trying to catch the ball out front of the plate, but he lost his feel and his control of the strike zone. And I think in your interview, he mentions the fact that, I kind of found out who I was and who I needed to be successful. Turned his career back around.
Carter Jensen batting to left field, and Larnach will have a play. Catch is made. Pasquantino will tag and head home and score. Sac fly for Jensen. And now 6-1 Kansas City. And just at bats like this, that's what the Royals have done throughout this series. Putting the ball in play, moving guys over, getting them in. And Jensen picks up his 31st RBI, and Pasquantino scores for the second time.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I see where? Oh yeah, the Royals leading the major leagues in sacrifice flies. It seems like a small thing, but all those times that you strand runners at third with less than 2 outs, there's an approach you take. You can see the opposite field coming into play. Better chance to elevate that ball and get that 1 run in.
Yeah, their strikeout rate 13th best as an offense. The walk rate is right at league average. Twins are down 5, 2 down for Tolbert. But do you remember going back to your managing days, not contentious conversations, but some good healthy debate about that final roster spot or two?
Sure. And there's more things than, as a manager, you try to envision, you want the best team to try to start winning games when the opening bell sounds. But there's other things that come into factor. Players that have options, players that don't. Some other things that they are more concerned about. Even sometimes, to be honest, there's been times where service time comes into play. I mean, we saw that way back to days like Bryant when he was with the Cubs and some other people. But it's a collaboration. You try to find what makes the most sense, giving all those considerations.
So Mason Black up in the Royals pen, 1-2 on Tolbert as Lorison steps on. Lofton at second, Collins at first. The Royals have scored 6 unanswered runs. Twins led early 1-0, down 5 here late. And Tolbert strikes out, and the inning is over, but the Royals add one more. Twins down 5 coming up, bottom half of the inning.
$2. Welcome back to Target Field. Twins trailing 6-1 as we head into the bottom of the 8th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
A warm, humid day at the ballpark. Sky is darkening. There is rain forecasted later on today, but hopefully we can finish this one out. Twins are down 5 here, bottom 8, and Mason Black is out for the first time in this series. You see his numbers, and the Twins will see plenty of sweepers from the righty here today. Oh, 2 on Jackson. Mason Black spent the last 2 seasons with the Giants. Acquired in a November trade.
I think how many years has a sweeper been a thing now? Is it 5 years, 3 years?
I remember walking into the workout in Kansas City with Pablo Lopez before the 2023 season, and I specifically asked him about his pitch mix, and he said, baseball savant calls it a sweeper, so I'm calling it a sweeper. And then he literally went with me and said, yeah, the grips are different. Like, he showed me it's a different grip from his slider. And so really it was that conversation with him before the 2023 opener at Kauffman Stadium that started thinking about and utilizing that pitch.
I think people have always thrown. See a sweeper there that's popped up out to center.
It's Lane Thomas, one away.
I think that, excuse me, we've always seen that pitch in some form. And I do think a slider is different because of the extra velocity and how they just stay on the side of the ball. They don't try to really create as much of a spin rate as they do with that sweeper. But a lot of it, I think, is, it's more you're trying to get that rotation on a ball similar to your curveball. It's just more lateral than it is top to bottom.
Sonny Gray told me, Molly, that he thought the honey hole, if you will, for sweepers was around 83, 84 miles an hour with about 14, 15, 16 inches of horizontal break. Now it will vary with guys, but he thought that to me was about right. And Joe Ryan, his movement has been incredible with his off-speed pitches this year. Just got word, by the way, that Bobby Witt Jr. left the game due to right knee soreness. That's why he departed after hitting in the 7th inning. There's the 1-1 to Martin. 0 for 3 today. 1-2.
Well, I just think back to, I hate to go way back, but a guy like Dave Steeb, great pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, 80s into the 90s. I mean, he threw a ball that broke so much side to side and had so much spin. And it wasn't really a curve, and it wasn't really a slider. I mean, I think some guys just tried different things on how they were able to throw breaking pitches. And I'm sure guys like Pablo that studied the art of pitching and, the analytics departments have come up with ways to try to define it, how to throw it most effectively, how much break works for different people. I watched Joe Ryan's sweeper, as you talked about, Corey, and it's got such a late movement, but he commands it so well.
Lee rolls it over to Massey, and again the Twins go down in order for the 4th consecutive inning. Royals 6, Twins 1 as we move to the 9th inning. Homestand wraps up today and then off tomorrow. Route to Detroit, and we will join you next here on Twins TV for the Twins and the Tigers. Taj Bradley will get the ball for the Twins, and righty Troy Melton. ERA sub-2 will go for the Tigers. We start at 5:30 on Twins TV. There's Taj. Going to find that command. That was so great to start the year. Taj has had a rough first inning in recent starts. Hopefully get the Twins going in a good way on Tuesday night. Justin Lawrence will take over here for the Twins.
Talk about first inning troubles. I think back to the Brad Radke days, and always seem to have that trouble. They used to try to find different ways to do that. Wait, warm up longer, take more breaks in between getting hot and sitting down before the start of the game. Sometimes it becomes psychological, kind of fighting yourself to find your stuff coming out of the gate.
Did you buy into the idea, because this came up with Kyle Gibson with his sinker, he was playing for you, that sinker ballers especially, that the arm is too fresh, that the way that the sinker is going to run, it's just not going to be in the zone in that first inning? To short and backhanded by Arcia. Good throw, and retires Thomas for out number 1. That sinker ballers particularly would be guys that it was not so uncommon to see a high first inning ERA.
I think you've heard that debate for a long time. Let's hope our guy's tired today so his ball sinks a little bit more in the first inning. So I think it's maturing, and a guy like Kyle who really depended on that pitch on his ascent to the major leagues, kind of found out how to do that over time. Nice career for Kyle Gibson, all things considered.
One of our favorites. A nice long career. First at bat for Michael Massey. And it's an 0-2 count. Another guy that has in the past had some first inning woes. That guy right there, Bailey Ober, but much better. Like if Bailey got through the first 3 innings, he was good to go. But the first inning, that would often be the one that would decide what kind of start, how effective he was going to be. To left and shallow, and Larnach for out number 2.
When Jess uses Bank Smartly checking and savings, we help her money work harder.
2 down for Michael Garcia. 1 for 3 today with an RBI single, a run, and a walk. Third appearance for Justin Lawrence. It's being acquired from the Pirates. Righty Beck Way coming up in the Kansas City pen. Black had a 1-2 3/8. The Twins' last hit was Lewis's single in the 4th inning. Since then, just 1 base runner since. That was when Kryler reached on a Garcia error. Garcia will challenge. Royals have 1 remaining challenge. Called strike. Close pitch, and it was a strike. So the Royals are out.
Confirmed. Kansas City has 0 challenges remaining.
Twins will have Arcia, Clemens, and Bell. 3, 4, and 5 coming up bottom 9. Speaking of the sweeper, and you can see the movement that Lawrence has, Molly, with his breaking ball.
I think the Twins are trying to figure out what type of asset that Lawrence can be. You know, he's got a nice power sinker, and that sweeper's got great movement. Command has been his issue in his first couple of outings with the Twins.
And strike three call. No challenges left for Kansas City. So Lawrence with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Last chance. Arcia will lead off in a moment.
We're back for the bottom of the ninth, where it is a 6-1 Royals lead at Target Field. Well, after the Twins wrap this series up with Kansas City, they'll enjoy an off day tomorrow before hitting the road for 3 against the Tigers. Then, Corey, they're back at home against St. Louis next weekend. That is our upcoming schedule presented by Progressive.
All right, Katie, thank you. Tigers and the Cardinals up next for the Twins. But first, we'll see Beck Way on the mound for the second time in his big league career. Had a scoreless inning here in his debut on Friday, striking out 2. 96 at a fastball for ball 1. Way was originally drafted by the Yankees, then came to the Royals as part of the Andrew Benintendi trade a few seasons back. Twins postgame is coming up after we are done here with Marnie and Tim. And speaking of Tim Laudner, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Timmy.
Timmy Lauds, happy birthday, buddy. Looking great. Looking great for 21, pal. Looking great. Clay, you can laugh too. That's okay.
21.
21. Looking great, Lauds. Happy birthday, my man. Yeah, there's a walk to Arcia. The Twins have a base runner for the first time since the 4th inning. That's the first walk of the day issued by any member of the Royals pitching staff.
I was just telling you how good Beck Way looked in his debut the other night. A couple of strikeouts. He's got that upper 90s fastball. Cutter is his primary secondary pitch. And he is overamped here to start the 9th.
Twins will take any base runners they can have. Rally camps are on. Twins don't have a challenge left. That's Clemens looking back at that pitch. And it was a strike. And one of your keys to the game, Molly, was to not stay in the present, not look ahead.
Sure.
And you think that has been an issue for the guys at all today?
Well, it's hard to say. You know, it's possible. Mind starts drifting to 17 days consecutively playing. And I think the fact that we got off to a decent start and Prelip was throwing the ball fairly well. But when he came out of the game and Morris could not hold down the Royals, that 3-run homer seemed to really deflate the Twins.
Now Clemens with a base hit to left field. So Arcia to second base, and the Twins have their 4th hit today. And 2 of those from Cody.
Yeah, not done yet. You know, just the overall game and performance that Cody has brought, particularly over the last 25 games. Sinker runs off the plate at 96 miles an hour, and Cody just sticks his bat out there, finds some grass.
And that swing too, the contact, that was at the very end of his barrel. And the torpedo bat, it was such the talk of the game early last season. And some guys, they didn't like it because they still wanted some more mass throughout the end of their barrel, at the end of their bat. And for a ball like that, you know, if you have that torpedo bat, maybe you don't get the same swing, the same contact. Ball 1 to Bell.
Yeah, that became a really hot topic there for a while. I think the Yankees were kind of leading the charge and guys that were using that bat. I just really haven't seen too many around this year. Maybe a few guys still trying that bat, trying to increase the mass of the weight of the bat into the sweet spot.
Bell 0 for 3. A swing and a drive into right field and deep. Back it goes, and the Twins are back in this game. A 9th inning 3-run homer from Josh Bell, career homer number 199. And the Twins, just like that, nobody out, are within 2.
That was a big wow. We talked about the sound of Marte's 3-run homer earlier in the game. No doubter here. It's a little cutter coming right into the barrel. Just dropped that head out there. Big man, strong man. What we get on that exit, Vito? Got to be.
As Morneau and company would say, that was smushed.
Smushed.
112 off the bat, 442 feet. And no doubt a Baja Blast with that Josh Bell swing. Unlock your free 20 outs Baja Blast by registering right now at BajaBlastHomeRuns.com. Any homer that travels more than 420 feet is a Baja Blast. And now Bell 1 homer shy of 200. And Matt Contrero is going to get his bullpen moving, and Lucas Ursig is warming up quickly. Royce Lewis, nobody out. Twins are down 2, and strike 1 from Beck Way.
Talk about the Twins offense kind of stagnating since the 4th inning, and all of a sudden that walk.
Garcia with the stretch from Pasquantino, throws out Lewis. 1 away. Now Bell, the Baja Blast, also that home run swing powered by Treasure Island Resort and Casino. For every Twins homer hit to the Treasure Island home run deck, Treasure Island donates $2,500 to the Twins Community Fund in support of the Junior Twins Equipment Kit program.
Good to see that. It's been about 3 weeks since Josh was able to touch them all.
Strike 1 on Larnach. His second at bat came in to hit for Kreidler when Schreiber came into the game in the 7th. To left field, fading near the line, and that's going to be a fair ball. Larnach rounding first, on his way to second. Collins' throw is cut off, and the tying run is coming up in Keyshaw. Larnach a 1-out double. And that'll do it for Beck Way as he will make his way off the mound. And Lucas Ursig, who has struggled closing games lately, is coming in for the Royals. So a pitching change here in the 9th. Twins mounting a rally. 3 in, 1 on, 1 out. Keyshaw, the tying run is up. When we come back, 6-4 Royals. Don't go anywhere here on Twins TV.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
Twins are within 2. We're down 6-1. Beck Way leaves the game. Trevor Larnach with a 1-out double. And Larnach keeping this rally alive here, finding the left field line and just a few feet fair, chasing Way. And now Lucas Ursig comes in for the Royals, who has blown 6 saves this season, most in baseball. Did work a scoreless inning yesterday. That was the 7th. That was the 9th inning today. And it is ball 1 to Keyshaw. Remember, neither team has an ABS challenge remaining.
See the numbers there for Ursig, how kind of backs up the struggles he's had of late.
To center field, and here comes Thomas. And there are 2 down, and Jackson due up. He will not bat. Victor Caratini will hit in place of Jackson. And Caratini's bat has come to life here in this series. He has swung the bat well against Kansas City, hitting for power. And he's the last chance here for the Twins, down 2.
Caratini struggled most of the year offensively. Did drive in some runs early on for the Twins. A couple doubles and a homer in this series. See if he can find a way to extend this rally for the Twins here.
So Larnach, he doubled, but now it's up to Caratini. Last chance here for the Twins. Down 2. Strike 1. Caratini, part of the rally last night. He got hit by a pitch. facing Alex Lang. 7-game hitting streak. One and one.
Ursuck's given up 2 homers this year, both to left-handed hitters. Left-handed hitters hitting well over 300 off him for the season.
Gray would bat for Martin. 1 and 2 if the game continues. And now the Twins are down to their final strike. Tigers walked off Seattle 5-4. Detroit wins that series. After sweeping the Rays, they come home and take 2 out of 3 from a good Seattle team. Twins see that Tiger team starting on Tuesday. Marte a big home run earlier in the dirt, and Larnach will stay put.
Yeah, good choice by Larnach. His run is unconsequential here.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Caratini, bottom 9. 3 and 2. Orsig with the highest walk rate of his career, nearly 15% of all hitters he is walking. League average closer to 8%. 2 down. 3-2 pitch, ground ball up the middle, base hit center field. Larnach will score. Caratini keeps the line moving. This is a 1-run game, and now Tristan Gray can win it with 1 swing.
Well, a couple of thoughts. Nice job by Caratini. Good long at bat. Bangs one back up the middle to pull the Twins within 1. Said we haven't had a walk-off yet this year. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody to run for Caratini here.
The Twins, 2 catchers on the roster. Cody Clemens is the emergency catcher. You know, Ryan Kreidler was telling me he did for fun during spring training, put a mask on, no gear, catching a bullpen, but nothing too serious about that. So right now, Tristan Gray, who's had some big swings at this ballpark this season. Here he is, 9th inning, and the Twins have the winning run at the plate. They were down 6-1 entering this 9th inning, have scored 4. And hopefully the rally isn't over yet. Rally caps have been on. Gray 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Ball 1. .374 extra base hits over his last 10 games. To left field, fading, and a base hit. Caratini will round second. Took a big turn, stops there. So Gray delivers a pinch hit single. Caratini to second, the tying run in scoring position. And now Brooks Lee, the 9th Twin to bat here in this 4-run 9th inning.
Yeah, Gray, the 3rd left-handed hitter this inning that has taken a ball off the plate and hitting it off the end of the bat, but have found some grass out in left field.
Brooks Lee, 3 career walk-off swings, all coming last year, including a walk-off RBI single off the Royals in May. 1 for 17 in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike. And we mentioned the splits on Lee. He's performed so much better on the road. But now with a chance to tie it, put his team on top with the game on the line here in the 9th inning. 1-2. Caratini the tying run at second. Gray the winning run at first. Fouled back on a sinker at 98. Well, the Twins, they look flat all day long. Have come to life here in the 9th inning and made this a game. Choking up just a little bit. Slice to left field. Collins ranging over with room, makes the catch on the warning track, and the Twins come up 1 run short. A 4-run 9th, but not enough as the Royals win their 2nd straight game by 1 run and take the series, winning 3 out of 4. The Twins go 7-10 on this 17-game stretch, and the Royals win the game and the series 6-5. For Paul Molitor, Katie Storm, Corey Provis reporting, saying so long for now. Marty and Tim coming up next. Twins postgame in a moment.